Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Slun Slappers. How you doing this morning? I hope all is well with you this morning. It's Tuesday, man. And I'm super excited about the next couple of days. Tomorrow is my son's birthday. Zion Garrett will be 26 years old. And then the following day is Mr. Trusted Process birthday. I'll be turning 51. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's interesting to get into a position of when you think about, hey man, I'm a half a century old. Um, I have I have a great appreciation for life and for 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 a person that was told um, that, hey man, you're probably not going to see 21, and just watching life's choices at that point, and and the choices that I needed to make, because it's one thing that I'm realizing, and I get this now. Life don't get easier. We get smarter. Wisdom starts to settle in. I I'm taking this time to reflect the next couple days. Um, my wife said, "Hey, listen, pack your bags. We're going somewhere. I got something for you." I said, "Okay." So I'm not gonna do sun slappers. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. Tomorrow morning, I don't know. So that's when we're supposed to be leaving. So I got to pack and I got to get all those things going. But I digress. I've come to this point that there's a lot of things that I could be grateful for, and I'm ecstatic. That's that. I mean, the bottom line about the whole thing is that thank you for being a part of this journey and helping me understanding that trusting the process is not just a lifestyle, it's not just a mindset, it is a community. And community is a place where individuals come to share and to build and to grow. And you've done that. You've allowed me to take my life, put it in front of this camera, um, even before social media to this broad of a spectrum. You've allowed me to, whether it's speak to you at a speaking engagement, whether it's mentoring one of your kids, teaching in the schools, assisting you as a law enforcement officer, whatever the capacity was, it was you had to allow me that moment to be able to have that type of exchange. And I thank you. I thank you for helping me get to 51 years old, because I certainly did not get here by myself. Um, my family, my friends, my wife, my my business partners, like I'm grateful for everyone. So let's get into it. And I think you're going to appreciate it. You will appreciate this. Listen, let me tell you this. You'll never feel ready, because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You'll never feel ready because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Listen, man, look, you could talk about, you can have all of the, hey, let me wait, let me wait till I feel good about, let me wait till I got this feeling and I got this. Listen, you to live the type of life that I'm telling you about, that I'm explaining to you about, you got to do it whether you feel like it or not. Because on the other side of that is the blessing. The other side of that is what you were looking for. You'll never feel ready, because ready isn't a feeling. It's a decision. It's a choice. You have to start choosing to live the life that you want. Make the choice. Make the choice. Don't allow somebody else to make decisions for your life, because you are a part of somebody else's vision, somebody else's happily ever after. And you got to make a choice about what role you want to play, what boundary you want to set. All of those things are choices and decisions, and sitting in your feelings, sitting in your, I don't know, maybe I should. If you don't make a decision, it's going to be made for you. It flat out, it's going to be made for you. So I've made some decisions. I've gotten to the point where I've made some decisions. I've made. Let me get myself adjusted here. I've made some decisions not to allow people to minimize my work and what I do. A lot of times you could be too humble. You can be too humble, and people will start playing in your face. And that's not a place that you want to be in, because that too is a decision. And so it's not a feeling. It is not this is not about you. Again, when you wake up, when your feet hit the floor, every enemy, every spirit, every force should know and be nervous as hell that you woke up. And you should decide to say, okay, God, you gave me another shot. I'm going to live this day to the fullest. And as the sun is coming up, as it is rising, so shall my experiences, so shall my family be blessed, so shall my businesses be blessed, and so shall the world know I was here today. That's a decision. And whatever comes with that, lay your head peacefully at night knowing you made a choice and the choice didn't make you. Okay? Know that. Let me get to this. A leadership role is a servant position. It is a servant position. And I put this out here because we have some new elected officials. I'm going to say new elected officials, people who take these leadership roles. And I want to put out a reminder for those bookers and onlookers, right? The people who, they don't say much on your comments or anything like that, but they watching. Your friend, your partner, your people who, you know what I'm saying, in these leadership roles and in these, it's a servant position. It's not to accumulate more wealth, or it's not to making sure that they kind of consolidate the power amongst y'all, right? It is to help the people that put them there. Because obviously you spoke to something. And in our case here in our city where we're at in Pontiac, Michigan, people don't vote. And so the people who do vote are those who either voting for people because they just know them and they grew up with them and they like them and oh so cute, or they just really, a lot of times people are going through the motions. And so I know, because I've been elected in 5 different positions, in 5 different electoral processes. This last one with the mayoral process, because you just have Pontiac voting for you, I have to do a better job with making people see me in various capacities, not just in one. And so that's just a strategy. That is just something, that's just a part of the game, right? That's learning more in how to be a strategist, a political strategist, right? Like I have to take the political part of this a lot more serious, the electoral part. I take the service part very serious. Once I get in office, check my voting record. Check my voting record, how I move. I'm not with the in crowd. People, a lot of people who expected me to get there to save their jobs, especially these higher up people. Like people endorse. Don't get me started. I'm not going to even start. Listen, a leadership role is a service position. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm about to be 51. All these endorsements that other people getting, some people endorse people to keep them relevant, not necessarily because they believe in the candidate. Because ain't nowhere in the world you can watch a candidate do what they do. You can watch how they move and then say, I honestly, I believe in God. I honestly believe that I'm going to support that. How they treat people. I only care about how people treat people. I don't care about what you do, your color, how you look, your gender, who in your bedroom. I don't care nothing about none of that. I don't care nothing about the sinning you doing on your side of town because I don't want you in the sinning I'm doing on my side of town. I don't care nothing about none of that. What I do care about is how what you do affects somebody else. I look at how you treat people. As a servant leader, I look at how you treat people. And sometimes I understand people can play the victim in certain roles and manipulate situations. However, I look at how you still treat people after that. Some people don't deserve kindness. Some people don't deserve to be acknowledged in a position to a point where their arrogance or feeds into their narcissistic behavior. That's when we start getting into accountability. A leadership role is a servant's position. It's to serve the people. There are plenty of things that's happening in our community right now. Yes, we are in an election cycle, and yes, in the next 3 weeks, we're going to vote in a mayor. But that mayor is going to need some help. They're going to need to watch the people that's around them. We have to understand what as far as how the country is shifting, how does that shift affect our city? And we still have leaders who are so arrogant in their ways about what's good for them. Let's just make it look good. Let's only talk about the God-loving God. Let's not talk about the destroyer of a whole nation, God. God destroyed nations. Asking people in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's a whole different story. A leadership role is a servant's position. And as you can already know, you're going to get something different out of me after my birthday when we start talking about trust in the process and we start talking about sun slappers and we start talking about being intentional about what we're doing. Because you and I, this doesn't work without us. Right? We don't get to just wake up one day and just say, oh, you know what? I get to do whatever I want to do. It doesn't happen that way. A gifting, anointing, calling, being committed, being this involved in life, you don't get to sit back and say, okay, I'm just going to go chill and take the coast ride. No, you didn't go through everything just for you. You went through everything to benefit other people. No fruit eat of its own. So yeah, we here now, and we in it. So let me hit you with a recap before I get into some announcements and some things that took place. Here's your recap. You'll never feel ready. You'll never feel ready because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You'll never feel ready because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. A leadership role is a servant position. Again, a leadership role is a servant position. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. Listen, if you haven't gotten over to Trust in the Process, please get over there, like, share, and subscribe. We need to grow the community. We need to get our resources out. We need to build and cast a larger net. We need to expound and expand this territory. Get over to Mr. Trust the Process. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't started following us on Instagram, please do so. Follow us on Instagram as well. So listen, there's a part of me that will forever be a part of me. That will forever be a part of me. And you've been following, you understood we dropped this last week. Is Let's Talk Education with Gil Garrett. And it's going to be the state of Pontiac public education. Every school district in education we're going to be in that's in the city of Pontiac, we're going to be speaking on, not just my beloved Pontiac School District. We're going to have a conversation, a real conversation about our state, where we at, who we need to be talking to, why we need to have these conversations, because I am coming to find out individuals really do not understand the business of education. They understand the teaching part. Like, they understand that there's an educational component. But for whatever reason, we don't talk about the business component of education. Like, how do you fund it? How is the vision set? The rules, the laws, the policies, the procedures, those things that we have to follow in order to make sure there is success in the educational classroom. And so that's always been my focus for the last 25 years, is on the business side of it. I started out teaching on the educational side, but then I understood that there was a controlling factor. There was a dominant factor, which is the business side, that needed to be leveled and needed to be understood clearly, so that we get people who are effective in the classroom, who are teaching our kids, and those middle management principals and those superintendents and administrators at the main office clearly understand that we have to work together. So we're going to start at the basics, basic principle conception of what public education is, educational systems, the difference between private schools, charter schools, public schools. We're going to talk about funding for each, how they're funded, different cities, why certain taxes are done or implemented or put in place for additional funding. We're going to talk about public funding. And so the basics, we're going to start at the basic level conversation. And I have 25 years of experience. I'm the most decorated board member in Pontiac School District history, serving at the state level, serving at national level, both board of directors, and receiving an award from the highest office of the President of the United States of America for that work. So my credentials are unmatched to those who are even currently in leadership roles. And I'll just put that out there because of the fact that there seems to be, just because you have a title or you have something, that the experience comes with that. No, it's 25 years we're talking about here. 25 years of institutional knowledge, the knowledge and education base to make sure that we understand it. But the beautiful thing about an educational system is that here in the state of Michigan, you need 4 people to be on accord to making sure that we can move our district. 4 people, not one person. As much education as I have about it, as much as I love and compassion I have, if there's 4 other people to say, hey, we want to go this way and advocate for our friend, and that's what we want to do, then that's the direction that we're going in. But I tell you what, you can't stop if you're one of the one. But needless to say, I digress. State of Pontiac Public Education. And our first guest on this particular show, or I don't necessarily want to say show, she's a trustee Tanisha Miller. She's a trustee. She's been there for 10 months. She's going to be the first guest. I figure I know we should start with her because I have had an opportunity since December. I think it was December of 2024. It was after the election, November. And I was like, man, who is this person? We don't know who is she? Like, what does she do? Like, where did she come from? And in our community, when you think you know, in our community, excuse me, when you think you know everyone, you like, well, where's she come from? Where's she been? Like, who? And come to find out that her son is one of the football players and at the high school, but she's been in Pontiac for the past 15 years. She's a native Detroiter, and she was encouraged to run for the school board. She spent a lot of time in Oxford, and you know that's our Pontiac's extended family out there in Oxford, which houses our and have some of our Pontiac kids. And so she ran for the school board. She won, and she's been sitting there for 10 months, I want to say roughly. And when I tell you, have really not just impacted the community in itself, but really have earned the trust of those students. And I saw it with my own eyes. And again, I did not know this trustee. I didn't even know her, period, until after February. I think it was February. I met her. They had to come and do a onboarding, if you will, which was not an onboarding at all. But needless to say, that's when I met her, and it was December. They took office in January. And yeah, that's what it was. It was in December was the onboarding, right before January. And listen, I was just as shocked as everybody else of like the institutional knowledge, just her institutional knowledge of what was happening, her progression in the educational field, some of her understanding around unions, and those things I was learning, but I was watching. I was like, okay, this is somebody who I see that loves our children and really speak to the business side and educational side and know how to combine it together. And she also has some great news to share. I'll let her share it as it relates to when she gets on the show. But I appreciate her, and we're going to have her on the show. We'll make sure you like, share, subscribe so you can tune in to that show. It's going to be like a 4-part series because we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to discuss. So I thank y'all so much again for just your time. I know Sun Slappers is a little longer today. Yesterday, I went to the board meeting. As y'all know, I went to the board meeting, and this is what happened. I couldn't get in.
Can't get in.
I couldn't get in. On the website, it says what?
Doors locked. Can't get in. The meeting's supposed to start at 6 o'clock.
It was people in there.
Open meeting to the public.
So
guess I'll just sit out here and wait till somebody decide they want to open the door.
So I stayed out there for a minute. So I'm out there, and I'm like, okay, there's no signs to say where the meeting is being held at. But I remember, like I told y'all before, I got bookers and onlookers. So I know that they will manipulate or change spots according to who's coming to the meeting. This is just the space that we in right now, and I'm okay, I'll play this game. And so with that being said, I just sat there and waited. And I text, because I do have Trustee Miller's number. I text her and I said, hey, I can't get in because I'm thinking she's in the inside. She wasn't there yet. We get there. She was handling an emergency. She said she was handling an emergency, then she'll be there. And then it was like I was looking for other people's number, and then this happens. Every time it appears that I'm being pushed back,
as I was
drawn
doing
out, I just keep going. So
Yeah. You here for the meeting?
yeah, he asked me, "Am I here for the meeting?"
It's not in the theater.
Okay, the door is locked. Hey, Garrett, you here for the meeting? What else am I here for? To do the windows? Needed a key card to get in. You switch from where it was normally at to the community room or the old Title I room. A leadership role is a servant's position. So, you'll never feel ready because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. I'm going to leave y'all with this. Don't let nobody stop you from going in the direction that you need to go in. Sometimes you're going to have to pause, you're going to have to retreat, you're going to have to step back, and you're going to have to go, okay, what's a different way? Since 1996, I've been in the school district, either as a volunteer, first as an employee, volunteer, school resource officer, board member, secretary, treasurer of the board, vice president of the board, then board president. To off the board, to going back in, helping out with the bond, getting the bond passed, getting the sinking fund passed, to getting back on the board because you could see clearly when you understand the business of it that there's been some mismanagement of the bond. You don't stop advocating because you're the only one or you feel like you're the only one. You don't stop making change because you're not in the winning circle anymore. Some people who's sitting on a board, you're thinking to yourself right now, why am I here? You're here because you're a servant leader. You're here because there are people who need your encouragement, that need your testimony, that need you to show them how to get themselves out of a rut, how to get. In my town here, we have a lot of people who just like to play along to get along. And I tell you what, that's not our case. So, God bless you. Listen, I see y'all. It's my son's birthday tomorrow. Mine's on Thursday. My wife told me to go pack a bag. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go pack a bag. God bless you, man. It's Sun Slappers. Peace.